Ladies and gentlemen, Renee Brown.
Thank you, Kathy. Appreciate it, Kathy. And as was mentioned already, we are here tonight to raise as much money as we can for the power of Out and Equal. And I'd like to tell you a true story this evening. It was in 1982, I was 11 at the time, when I realized that I loved differently. And I was raised in rural South Louisiana, picture swamp people. And I was pretty sure I was the only lesbian in Louisiana. And that's something I carried with me in silence. And little did I know my only sister was suffering in silence as well. And it wasn't until we were adults living in different states that we came out to one another. And today I am very lucky and privileged with many rights, but I do not today at my workplace have equal rights. Indeed, I have a terrific partner of 15 years and a 9-year-old daughter, and my partner stays at home. And because of that, and the federal government doesn't recognize our relationship, I pay more taxes than my colleagues with similar relationships. And so what that means, yes, is that indeed my family is very out, but we are not equal. I attended my first Out and Equal Summit in 2010, and then the next spring attended the Executive Forum. And that event, and those events really, changed the way I look at advocacy. I've attended diversity councils and I've been an advocate, but it takes more than that. In my role at my company, what I have to do is make sure all the employees do not suffer in silence, and that we can truly be an out and equal organization. And a story of one coworker that changed my life. Steve was a colleague of mine for years and served on a diversity council. And one day he asked me for coffee, and I didn't realize how much I would be changed by that coffee conversation. He shared with me his plans the next year to transition to a woman. And at the time, he was married with a child. And what I would tell you is that I stood by her as Stephanie emerged and watched as her life was completely torn apart. Her family no longer talked to her, and soon her job was eliminated. And so what could I do but to introduce her to my church? And it was there at church that she found a family who offered unconditional love when she had no other family. And Stephanie's journey taught me about inequality. Inequality every time she walked down the hallway, inequality with the whispers that you'd hear behind her, and inequality with every trip to the bathroom. I learned so much, and she has since moved to another state and rebuilt her life. I am left with a wonderful learning of what it means to be a true friend and what it means for unconditional love to happen. And so I have a question for all of you tonight. What is the cost and what is it worth to all of you to drive an out and equal workplace? All of you know somebody at your workplace who is suffering in silence. And what is it worth to you tonight to help make sure that the next generation doesn't suffer in silence? I always find we help ourselves through helping others, and this is our opportunity tonight.